Are you learning anything yet? I hope you are. Okay, each new smoke alarm is going to have its own separate backing piece. Don't think that it looks fairly similar to the old one. You're just going to leave the old one up there. Okay, and here's the thing here. You see all these different holes here. That's because there's 3 different sizes of boxes that could be up in the ceiling. So they've done you a favor. You could use this set here, or here you put the screw in through the middle and you'll twist it one way or another, and that will make the box a little bit thinner, narrower, or deeper, you know. So that's the next step. You don't want to get ahead of yourself and think, oh, I'm going to put this up first, because if you put this up first and then do the wire nuts, you know, to the wires, then it's kind of tricky to push everything up through the hole. Okay, so I'm going to slide this through there, and I don't know which way it's going to go yet. I can slide it one way and see that fits fine. Had I slid it the other way, it goes on one of the screws and slides. See? But on this one, it's not sliding because it's not the right size box. So don't think, oh, okay, I don't know any better. I'll just tighten it up right there. That's good enough. No, you want to put it in there and then try it the other way, and sure enough, it's going to fit. I can just set it there. This whole job takes one Phillips screwdriver if you do everything right. Okay, so now I'm just going to make that snug. Don't over tighten it, but you want it tight enough so that when you twist the new smoke alarm on there, it goes on there nice, and next time you go to take it off, you don't want to unscrew and take the whole thing off. You want to get just the top part off without trying to unscrew the rest, you know. And so I'm going to make it snug. I can feel that pushed up a little bit, and that's fine. I just don't want to overdo it. Okay, there. That's your next step. Now, are we ready for the next bit? Here's the top portion of this, and because this is a 10-year lithium battery, obviously there's no pouch on here to take anything off. This is the set button, and I'll talk to you about that before. Okay, are we ready to put this up? No, we aren't. Look at most of your smoke alarms. They're not all created equal, so just take a look at them and see. I see a little sticker right here, date of install. I'm going to put the date, and then just keep flipping it around. See, here's one that says replace by. Okay, these are 10-year, so what you can do is just write the month and the year of the install, and then you can write the month and add 10 years to today's date, calendar date or whatever, and put it right there. That way, you know, you don't want to think, okay, I'll remember that in 10 years from now. Well, maybe you don't have the house in 10 years. Maybe something happens to you. The next person comes along, they look at the smoke alarm, and they don't see any dates, and they're like, okay, well, it looks like a 10-year smoke alarm, but I'm not sure when it's time to replace this because there was no date on here. So just do yourself a favor and write it down. Not all, see, these are just little stickers, so not all of them have this. You know, maybe you have to write the date on the back, you know, on here with a felt tip pen or something so that you can see it later if you don't have a sticky on there, you know, or you could write it with a felt tip pen on the outside. I'd rather not do that because once you put it up there, you might see it worse or it might smudge. Okay, so I'm going to put the dates on here, then I'm ready to install it. Now that goodie up there has 3 little holes on it. You look on the back side of here, and there's three prongs there. Not all of them are like that. See? I think you can see that. 3 prongs. I'm just going to get up there and line that up. Okay, however this is, it's that way. I can flip this around that way. I can look at that, line it up, and push it in until it clicks. Okay? Now I can kind of fish that up there, and I'm going to have to feel around until this feels like it's in a spot where it's flat all the way around. You want to make sure it's flat all the way around. Don't make the assumption that you got half of it and the other half's not there, and you start twisting this and you get half of it on there or something and you try to force it. Okay, feels like I'm good. Now I'm going to start clicking it, and this should chirp a little bit here. See? That's chirped. So now I'm going to twist it on, and there's little nodules there. It's going to get tighter. Okay, now it's locked into place. It's all ready to go. I'm not going to set the button yet. I'm going to go ahead and install all my other ones first. Then I'm going to go out and turn the electrical breaker back on. Okay, so next time you always look at these right at this point if you want to see how you're going to remove it. You can look at your directions. On here there's a little prong on the side. I would have to push down before I untwist it. Okay, and that's how you would get to remove that. I'm not going to go ahead and do it because it's all nice and tight. It's all up there nicely tight to the ceiling. It's in the same location as the old one. That's why I want to use the right mounting screws too. Had you have painted this ceiling or something, let's say you use the wrong mounting screw connections, you might be off. I've seen that before. Okay, so just be careful and you can do it. All right, now that you got your smoke alarm installed, before you go down to the next one, just take a look at your carpet and pick up any little remnants. See, this all came out of that box just by me pushing it around and refiguring the wire nuts and stuff. It's just some sheetrock mud, you know, dry flakes and stuff. And you can vacuum this when you get done, but pick up the biggest parts so you don't traipse everything around. You can run the vacuum when you get done, let's say. That's a sign of good workmanship, is when you get done, nobody sees that you were ever there. Remember that. Now see, I just put the wire nuts on here, and see, here's 2 black wires, 2 white wires, and only 1 red wire that came out of the box. So I kept track of this wire nut when I took it off, because had I have used one of these wire nuts right here over to the single wire, this wire nut might not have been tight. This one obviously would have been tight over here. Then I would have had to, because I didn't keep track of everything and one of them was loose, I might have to go down and get a new wire nut and put over here. Okay, this way I was able to use the same wire nuts. There's a tip for you. Hey, speaking of tips, here's the old battery. What I like to do with that is I like to actually disconnect it and take it out of the old smoke alarm, because when you throw this away, this could chirp in the middle of the night or in your garbage can, whatever. Now when you throw this away, just be careful that the ends do not touch another battery that you're throwing away. You could put electrical tape over this individually, masking tape, whatever. These have been known to start a fire. I would not also recommend, would not use these batteries for something else. Sometimes, here's another idea. Whenever you replace batteries, whatever it's going to be for smoke alarms or ceiling fan remotes, handheld remotes, whatever, put the date on here so you know how old these batteries are. Okay? Do it right. Here's another tip for you. Yes, this little video clip is all about tips, mind you, on your smoke alarms. Now, I told you that before I started working on these, I shut the electrical power off on the actual breaker outside. Okay, so once I get all these reinstalled, before I reset them, I'm going to turn the breaker on. My auntie had a good idea. She said, hey, why don't you make sure you mark the electrical breaker in the electrical panel for the ones that say smoke alarm. So I might put SA on it, or just an S or something. Tell my auntie what I did. That way, if you ever have an issue with wanting to shut this circuit off again, you won't have to troubleshoot it. You can get right to the electrical breaker and do it the first time. Alright, it didn't take me very long to replace these 4. I put all the old stuff in those and I'm ready to throw those away. I've got one more to do. This is the combination one. This is the smoke and carbon monoxide one, and that's the one I'm going to do out into this main room, and this is the closest one to the kitchen, so that's the one I'm going to do. It's close enough to the bedrooms to where hopefully anybody who's in one of the bedrooms will hear it. I don't think there's any sense of putting a smoke alarm and carbon monoxide one in each bedroom. These things are kind of pricey. They're about $20 or so more than a regular smoke alarm. Okay, so look at the store, make your decisions. There's all kinds of things you can get at the store. If you got any questions, if yours is just battery or hardwired and battery, whatever, talk to a salesman because they've got lots of choices at the store.